Hey people, I'm going to put this little short in this Isaiah 5 folder, some more of Isaiah. But I figured out, this word they say is sin. I figured out the definition to this. And I figured out where they got this woe from. So these are proverbs. That first movie, I did this one, whereof Kebus's cadavers, whereof what much is the gray jackal. In the caves of the cadavers, there's much of gray jackals. And so these are proverbs. And the woe doesn't go here. This is how. And woe is what the old high hippie says after he heard this. Whoa, that's deep. And so this is how from shaky hone. In evil, in able. This little line here, down here, this little foot, read it back the other way. So it's in HBL, in evil, and then in able, HBILI, enable make. In the evil, enable them, the issue. And so this vanity, that's usually what they give evil, EVL or HBL, HVL. You see it here, Ecclesiastes 1:2. Evil is, vanity of vanities, the evil. This is the same spelling as, Cain and Abel. EVL is the spelling of Abel. And he who takes the pledge is the evil who, and destroyed, and evil. And in Daniel, it's the injury, it's the evil. And in Deuteronomy, it turns to the place of Jacob's inheritance as the evil. But they have it interchangeable with this EVL. The E and the H are real similar and they interchange, meaning delusion, emptiness, fraud, vanity, vanity of vanities, in evil lies with their vanities. So if you go to the big city, and even today in all the small cities, and you go into the grocery store or 7-Eleven, get you something to eat, when you come out, there's going to be a guy, and he's going to be shaky because he's got DTs from shaky. And he's going to be honing, to slowly chip away a little bit at a time. He's going to be honing in the evil and able to make, into the evil and able to make his issue, as in, this is ESSUA, but this is issue, his issue. It was, come get your issue. It's with your little bit of groceries, whatever your issue is. And so, how from shaky hone in evil and able to make issue. He's out there panhandling, trying to get a little bit of change so he can go get another fifth, another pint. And to cove what? And so cove, people cut miters with a miter saw now, but back in the day on the inside corners we used to cove them and it would hide better. We would, instead of cutting a miter to fit it together, you could cut one flat and just shape one side of it. This is a coving gauge. You push it up against something that has a strange shape and it'll give you that shape, and then you can pencil it out and cut it out and shape things up tight. It's to cove, and it means to go around. And so when old Shaky's honing and trying to enable his evil issue, you cove what? You go on around the haggle, Hagle, haggle. They say it's the cart. The guy pushing the cart of groceries, he's out there haggling. Hey, I want $5 for this apple. No, I'll give you 50 cents. I'll take $2.50, to haggle. And to cove what haggle hatches is your sin. And so hatches, what AE is ash, and you just replace it with the ES. And so it's the H T-H-E-S, hatches. And on the boat, you come out of the hatches. It's the doorway. A chicken hatches when it comes out of, So hatches doesn't just mean the doorway, but it means when you're coming out is when he gets you. He knows your hand just come from your wallet. It's still in your wallet, and you've got change. You broke up that $100 bill, and you got some small change because he only wants about 20. How from shaky hone in Evelyn Abel issue to cove what haggle hatches, go around the haggle at the door. And the hippie says, whoa, that's deep. So in the same way that they mix these words up side by side, where this is the vanity, this is the evil, and they'll put it in the word next to it. I showed that in another movie just below here, where it says for mixing intoxicating drink, and this is of the musk shaker, and so this is the mixer and the musk is the drink, and they'll mix these words up, side by side. It makes me think that somewhere in the Bible it says hatches sin, the sin hatches, the sin comes out of. And so what I'll do is I'll go to this word and I'll find everywhere it's used 294 times, and I'll go to the time it's used the most here, where it's hatchet, and I'll search for the word sin next to it, and this will give me a better spelling of sin, because sin could be spelled with an X or there's two S's, to give me a better idea what sin means. But I'm pretty sure I already know what the sin means. Up above here in that first movie I showed you, where it was talking about the wash it to battle, and it's talking about doing the laundry in the first 7 lines. And so a sin is a stain, and so when the sin hatches, the stain comes out. And so I'm pretty sure that the sin is going to be spelt with an X. The X is the plant, and all your stains come from plants. You get your grass stains, and all the dyes, they're cooked up out of plants and animals. And so the X is the letter for plant, and N is the seed. The plant seed is what you're trying to extract out of the plant in order to color your clothes, to dye. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be spelt with the XN. It was going to be sin. And it's probably just the last half of the word, being the X is the TS, and it'll be it's in hatches. It's in hatches. And so the word that comes before the XN is probably going to be all the different plants used to make the dyes. And that's the word you see comes up in Numbers 20 at the top. And it's only in Numbers. And it's XN. And they say it pronounces sin, but down here they'll give it a Zin. And this one they say is Wilderness, MDBR, is actually the title, the Hebrew title of the book of Numbers, from the number Netzin. And you can see, it's the XN, the Tizadi, to sin, it's in. And it comes up first in Numbers 13:21 from the mud bar, from the number Netzin. Same thing, the number Netzin. In the number Netzin. Number Netzin. And here it is, the offer in is. The offering is to over its sin. So this is the only 2 ways it comes up. When it has it followed by E, it's the offer in is over its in. And I didn't see it there, so I used my old Torah search. And the first place it comes up is Genesis 20. And sure enough, it comes up by Moses, the one and only time that the word Moses is actually in the Bible, spelled M-O-S-I-S, Moses. And they stopped using it in Exodus 32 in this in the old first 5 books. And it's always, though, these hatches the Godel. It's always with the Godel following it every time, the Godel. And that lets me know pretty much now that this isn't Godel. They'll put they'll spell a little different. Sometimes it's a dot where it's 2 D's. But this is the godly, and it means the godly colors coming out of it. Hatches the godly. To give the tack, tell me to read this backwards and forward, so it's to in the vat, to TA, to, and then be in the VAT, to in the vat, holy, all, and all it claim from milk it tie, hatches godly Moses. Anything MOSE or anything with OSE, they usually say is the work or the deeds, and the godly Moses. And then the little line up here, starts at A. I read it backwards, and so when you read it RS, the rise, and then back the other ROSA, a rose, to rise a rose, to bring out the red. And the rest of them, allow, all make 2, allow the hatches godly. One of the beautiful colors coming out. And from 2 hatchets, hatches godly. You go cut into the tree with your hatchet and let out some sap to make your dyes. The hatches, the godly. And you remember that last movie I showed you that the ought is the 8 to the 8. The 8 was the teacher, Melchizedek, the teacher of Abel, the teacher of evil. And has these hatches, the godly, who Ashu. Ashu is the doctor, and they say that's the same word for Esau, the red. And the Psalms are always a lot of help, because these were easier books that everybody carried. Of dude, from skill, and backwards, the years unsue. And you see this word for forgiven is sin backwards, NS. The years ensue. And then backwards or forwards, as pusher. His transgressions, his years ensue as pusher, as drug pusher. As push a casky us who hatches. It's probably short for casket. It's probably where the word casket come from. Anything in it with the T means the mark. And so the KSKI, the casky, and then US, us who, us how hatches. So I'm going to read that whole chapter, and I'm sure I'm going to find something there. But that movie I did yesterday, the one before this, I was telling you appease was turned into Serapease to support the head. And this more reads like support the face. SP, support face. SP. Like a sphinx, it supports the face that doesn't go with the body. And the sphinx, it sits up on the river bank. That's where our word bank come from. It means the support face, to appease. But it's just a face. And the real power is hiding behind it. The real power is the lion. And it's the lion support face, the sphinx.
Don't forget. I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.